Can I thank you very much? Anyone who needs to be seated, please do sit down. And can I thank you for being such a wonderfully on-time group? It's much appreciated. First of all, as would be the tradition in Australia, I'd like to acknowledge the lands of the Lenape people on which we meet, the traditional custodians in the New York region, and that's particularly relevant, I think, in this week of the permanent Forum on Indigenous Issues. And Australia we have our Indigenous Affairs Minister here with us, so we're delighted to be able to welcome you here today. Very, very pleased indeed that we're launching the new report from the Stimson Center on the role of air power in UN peacekeeping. This has been a truly collaborative effort. Almost 2 years ago, the UN Military Advisor General Jock visited Australia to deliver a keynote address at our Air and Space Power Conference, and from that opportunity, this partnership developed. Our support was underpinned by Australia's own experience, and because of our geography, Australia's connectivity, our prosperity, and our security all rely on the air domain. The air domain, along with the broader peacekeeping environment, has experienced an accelerated pace of change in recent years. New threats have emerged, and new technologies can be utilised by those trying to keep the peace and those trying to undermine it. Our ambition with this project was to kickstart the conversation on how to address some of the most pressing challenges that face peacekeeping operations from the air, with the ultimate goal being to improve peacekeeping mandate implementation. How we conceptualise and utilise the air domain can have an outsized impact on the safety of blue helmets, mission efficiency, and importantly, the protection of civilians and human rights. Here in New York, there has been a growing focus on the future of United Nations peace operations. We welcome this, and we support the concept of new operating models being explored. The current peace and security landscape demands us to think and act in new ways, including by better leveraging regional-led efforts where they have a comparative advantage. Today's conversation aims to generate concrete ideas which can strengthen peace operations of the future. But while we look to the future, we cannot take our eye off current reform efforts. Making the peace operations of today more inclusive and effective requires continued support and leadership. Implementation gaps remain in the action for peacekeeping agenda, and we cannot afford to lose momentum in closing those gaps. Colleagues, despite UN peace operations facing immense pressure, they continue to enjoy broad consensus. We see peacekeeping, at least for the foreseeable future, as a core element of the United Nations toolkit to prevent and respond to conflict and build durable peace. And so it is our joint responsibility to continue to put in the hard work to ensure peacekeeping is fit for purpose. So I'm absolutely delighted to be able to welcome all colleagues here today. Let me make a special mention of Under Secretary General Lacroix, Major General Cheryl Pierce, my colleague from Lagos, Ambassador Munit, and many other colleagues. And of course, I'll introduce members of our panel in a moment. But for now, if I could turn to Under Secretary General Lacroix to make some welcome remarks. Thank you.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity of speaking on an issue that is very important to peacekeeping and about assets that are critical to peacekeeping, that are in high demand, that are facing a number of challenges, some of them having to do with the relation with the host governments and others being of a more technical nature, but certainly very important assets with great potential for further uses in peacekeeping. So many thanks for all of that. And I also seize that opportunity for thanking all the member states that are providing us with support on air assets. As I say, they are in high demand, so we are extremely grateful to all the member states that have been forthcoming in this regard. Clearly, at the time of unprecedented challenges and certainly significant threats, the effective use of air assets is an essential part of the UN's mission to maintain peace and security around the world, and indeed those assets play a pivotal role in ensuring the effectiveness, the safety of peacekeeping operations. The air domain offers a myriad of capabilities that are instrumental in addressing the complex and dynamic challenges that are faced by peacekeeping missions worldwide. At the forefront of these capabilities lies the unparalleled capacity of air power to provide rapid and strategic mobility, which is absolutely central to how we approach peacekeeping effectiveness today, also enabling the swift deployment of peacekeeping forces to regions affected by conflict or instability. So they are absolutely essential to improving and making sure that we are reactive and also that we can adapt our footprint depending on evolving situations. Whether it be airlifting personnel, equipment, or humanitarian aid, air assets afford peacekeepers the ability to traverse vast distances with unprecedented speed and flexibility, thereby bolstering the UN's ability to respond swiftly to emerging crises and prevent the escalation of violence. Moreover, the air domain serves as a force multiplier in the realm of intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, ISR, providing peacekeeping missions with critical situational awareness and actionable intelligence to inform decision-making processes. Through the deployment of aerial surveillance platforms, unmanned aerial vehicles, and reconnaissance aircraft, peacekeeping forces can monitor expansive territories, detect potential threats, and preemptively address sources of instability, thereby safeguarding civilian populations and mitigating the risk of conflict recurrence. And of course, this is one of the areas where some of the challenges have to do with the relations with the host government, and you all know that we are, in some mission setting, limited in the extent to which we can use these air assets for the purpose of ISR. Furthermore, the air domain plays a pivotal role in facilitating logistical support and sustainment operations, ensuring the seamless flow of personnel, equipment, and supplies to and from the theaters of operation, whether it be providing airlift capabilities for medical evacuation, cargo transport for humanitarian assistance, or aerial refueling for extended missions. Those air assets serve as lifelines, really, that sustain the operational tempo and effectiveness of UN peacekeeping forces in the field, thereby enabling sustained peacebuilding efforts and fostering long-term stability. So as we chart the course for the future of UN peacekeeping, we welcome the Stimson report on the role of air domain in UN peacekeeping. We look forward to our discussion to identify opportunities to bring more coherence to the use of air power as a critical component of UN peace operation, and to try to see how we can expand the use of these assets and therefore further improve the effectiveness of peace operation and really the success of our A4P plus related efforts. So thank you so much again for this opportunity, and wish you a very good event. Thank you.
Thank you very much.